So it is crazy that, I'm seeing as of this morning that nobody is going to be testifying on the behalf of Diddy. That came out, and I just said that in my earlier video this morning, that it's possible he didn't have witnesses, because I don't know how the defense was going to rest their case in a day or two. That's what they said. The prosecutor said that they'll be done today, and the defense was supposed to start tomorrow with their witnesses, and they said that they'll probably be done Tuesday, which is tomorrow. So basically one day. So I didn't even know how that was possible unless he didn't have that many witnesses. Okay. But according to I have an article from Yahoo News. I'm just gonna read a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna talk about this. It says, as the U.S. government's criminal case against Sean Combs winds down, the hip hop mogul defense attorneys have signaled that they will not call witnesses to testify on his behalf. Combs had hoped to testify in his own defense at his trial and had been quietly rehearsing for the testimony with his legal team for weeks. One person with knowledge of the plans told Business Insider. He's been adamant that he wants to do this, the person said. They've been getting him ready. But it now appears that the music and lifestyle entrepreneur has had a change of heart. On Monday morning, during a scheduling discussion outside the jury's presence, lead Combs attorney Mark Agnifilio indicated to the judge in the Manhattan federal trial that the defense would not call any witnesses. This is crazy. I don't even got to keep going. Like, that's the basis of, what's going on. How is it that not one person, and that's what made me go find these pictures that you see on your screen. And that's just, y'all know that is a small fraction compared to how many people Diddy was around over the years and attended his parties and was all around him and acting like they were so buddy-buddy. You mean to tell me not one of these celebrities can come speak in his defense and give just for character witness, be a character witness, talk about what he did for you or what type of friend he was? You mean to tell me nobody can do that? He literally have no friends right now? Literally no one is stepping up to the plate. Nobody. And it's really sad that nobody is stepping up. And in my opinion, this actually it says a lot about those people, in my opinion. Because don't try to act like you're not cool with him now. Don't try to act like you ain't got nothing to do with it now. Don't try to downplay your relationship with him when people seeing you with him over all these years, and now all of a sudden everybody getting quiet and stepping back. Where Mary J. Blige at? Jay-Z, Meek Mill, all of you see these people. Where all these people at that was around him all these years? Mary J. Blige say he like her brother or something. Where you at? Because this is the time he needs you right now. Nobody want to come to the forefront because I feel like all of them have a piece of guilt because they did things too. In my opinion, everything in this video is alleged. But if you're not coming to say something, this is how I look at it. I don't care what somebody accusing my friend of. I don't care if it's me and my friend against the world. If I truly felt like that was a good person, or I never seen the things that they are being accused of, and I have a different experience with them, and their life is on the line, I'm going to come step to the plate, and I'm going to say something. Even if I have to say, look, he's being accused of a lot of things, and I have no idea about those things. I've never experienced that. I never seen that. And my relationship with this person was totally different. They helped me out in the time of need. They was always there for me. They was a great friend. And you mean to tell me he don't got not one person out of all these people that is willing to do that for him? Sign of guilt. And what I truly believe is that other 4,000 hours of confiscated tapes that was taken from his house that's been said, all these tapes. If y'all remember, I did a video back in February. Now, a lot of people did a video on this. It's not a secret. This is not, something that people didn't know. The prosecutors talked about how they was still trying to extract the video from the different devices and things that Diddy had in his home. They took like some old school devices, probably camcorders and stuff. I don't know, y'all, okay, what type of devices was they were, but they was having a difficult time getting the video off, and they was still trying to do that. And even though the deadline was approaching to get those videos off of those devices, they had asked the judge for more time, and they was only able to present a small portion of the videos to the court because they still had just so many, devices to go through and get experts to get those videos off of those devices. And obviously, those was devices that go back for 20 years, okay? Because according to what they was saying, it seemed as if Diddy had been recording stuff since day one, okay? Like parties way back when. So you mean to tell me that y'all just showed all that in this testimony? No, you did not. I can go back through every piece of testimony and count how many times you guys actually showed the jury tapes and footage during this trial. So where's all them other hundreds of hours of video, or thousands, because it was said 4,000 hours, probably not accurate, but that's what was said, for around 4,000 hours of video. So where's that? And in my opinion, majority of these people you see on the screen, including hundreds of more, because we know Diddy was around everybody. He had almost every celebrity you could think of at his parties, at his house, and they partied together, okay, over the years. We seen him with almost every face there is in the industry. So I believe a lot of those people are on those tapes. That's what I believe. And more than likely, I don't know, I'm just guessing, because he's where he deserves to be, in my opinion. Let's not get that confused. Not even a little bit. Do I think he's guilty of the things he's being accused of? Absolutely. But he didn't do those things by himself, in my opinion. And a lot of that was exposed throughout this testimony. And nobody is coming forward because they scared that, they might be next on the list, or something might come up about them. They don't want to be in the spotlight with this case. But you mean to tell me like nobody is coming forward? If I know I ain't do nothing wrong, I don't care if I was around him. If I ain't do nothing wrong and he really was my friend, I'm coming forward. Because his life on the line. And it ain't like, people didn't see me with him. You look more suspicious and guilty not coming forward saying anything. Because we know you were there. You can't hide that. And nobody coming forward. That's really sad. It's really sad he did all that. And I feel like he being used as the scapegoat. Not saying that he didn't do it. He did it. But he didn't do it alone. He's taking the fall for all the other people that participated in the stuff that was going on. It's already been said in the testimony how the hotel, I don't know if it was the hotel worker or somebody who testified that Diddy was not the only person coming to that hotel during those parties. Not the only celebrity. And what may happen is he may expose them. He may tell on them. He may tell on them. At the end of the day, who he gonna tell? Because I feel that the government already know these people did it. They protected their name. They didn't want everybody. They wanted to take one person down for this. A lot of stuff did not come up in this trial. Just like I said before, that's what made me fall back a little bit. A lot of stuff didn't come up. I feel like they covering up for a whole lot of people. Ain't no way this man ain't got not one person that can come forward for him. His children can't come forward for him. I wouldn't want my children to do it either. He more than likely told them no. And that was a smart move because the feds was already looking at them anyway, them sons, them boys. They grown men. I hate to call them boys, but yeah, they was already looking at them anyway. They name had came up with stuff. And like I told you guys, I don't know if that was like a couple of weeks ago, but in one of my recent videos, they showed images of one of Diddy parties with the red light. We all learned throughout this trial what the red light meant when Diddy had a party. And his sons was there. And they said, and they showed the pictures. They showed pictures of people in the party with the red lights and everything. I can't remember what that image is. I don't know if I showed it in a video or something months ago, but I remember that picture. and that image, and they talked about how his sons was recruiting minions that was there in that particular party. Why none of that stuff was brought up during this trial? It's just so much stuff that was not brought up during this trial that make everything suspicious. And I don't trust none of them, in my opinion. They all liars. Even the prosecutors at this point. Because y'all probably brought facts to the table, but y'all, in my opinion, y'all sat there and, coach these people to say these things when they should have been behind bars with them, and y'all trying to cover for other people that y'all know for a fact was involved with this case. And that's just my opinion. Everything in this video is alleged, okay? Everything is alleged, but that's my opinion. It's too much missing to this puzzle. It's a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle. And for those of you who have been covering this story and reading all of the legal documents since September when he first got arrested, and even before then with the Cassie case, y'all know it's something not right. It's just something not right. It really is. They covering up. And the defense have no defense right now. They have no defense, not even one person. Everybody backed out. No telling what's going on, y'all. The government could have came to, because at the end of the day, the defense would have had to tell the government who was coming as a witness. And the witness the government probably went to them like, look, if you say anything, we're going to bring this out on you and show you on them tapes. So you better sit down and shut up. It's not in your best interest to come speak and say anything for him. But then that leaves the door open for Diddy to go ahead and tell on everybody. Because your life gone already. You might as well tell on everybody who was in there with you and did all those things. You might as well tell it all. Drop the, honey, look, I don't know. Tell me what y'all think about this. I just think it's really weird. And I just went and snatched a whole bunch of images. I'm sorry about that noise. They cutting grass. It seemed like they cut grass like every day. But anywho, nobody is coming forward. Nobody. He has no defense. None at all. And then they talked about him possibly taking the stand and that he had been preparing to take the stand. I don't even know what made them consider that as an option in the first place. That's the worst thing he could do is take the stand. They gonna probably catch him up on some more stuff. And his ego too big. He's not the type of person that belong on the stand in his own defense because his ego is too big. He talk too much and he think he's slick. So he gonna think he can maneuver his way out of something. He gonna be talking so fast, thinking he's so bold and tough, chest so swole, and he gonna back himself into a corner. So at the end of the day, he do not belong on the stand at all, period, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. At the end of the day, he was gonna take the stand. They say he not taking the stand now. And if I was him, I'd be thinking about going upside my lawyer's head because he gave them all that money, and I think they did a horrible job, in my opinion. They had a few decent days throughout this trial, but 95% of the time during this trial, his lawyers did a horrible job, and they said that, he was paying them $5,000 per hour. He paying them $5,000 per hour. That's what's being said. I'm not sure if that number is accurate, but that's what was said at the beginning of this trial, that he was paying them $5,000 per hour each. And this is what they got you, and they even got you a witness? Not one person that'll come forward? Even if it wasn't a celebrity, it could have been somebody that he just helped get a job back in the day. Something like y'all ain't had no private investigators go out and find somebody that, or some people, a handful of people that'll be willing to get up there and testify for him. So I don't know, y'all. I don't know. This is the weirdest thing. I never expected this. I didn't think he would have a lot of witnesses. I didn't think that because, like I said, I feel that most of the people that were his friends was intimidated to even come up there and testify for him. A lot of people turned their back on him. We could see that throughout this trial or even throughout this case. Nobody, went publicly and took up for him besides Ray J, crazy self, his Ray J, and recently Kanye, and I feel like Kanye only came forward, to show his face to cover his own behalf because his name was brought up, okay? But other than that, who else? Nobody else came forward. Nobody. And it's crazy. He don't deserve it. But I'm just saying, like, even if we feel he don't deserve it, our personal feelings don't really matter. We know that he's been around all these people all these years. We saw the images online, the videos. If you followed Diddy before all this stuff came out, you have seen him celebrating with so many people over the years. And nobody, look, Jamie Foxx, nobody come forward. That's because half of them probably guilty too and did some stuff they ain't had no business doing. While Amber Rose was over there on Shannon Sharp, I did that video a few months ago. Over there on Shannon Sharp, and said she never seen anything when she went to the white parties. Yeah, why you ain't come to this trial? Because Shannon Sharp ain't important. You need to come tell that to the court since you was defending him over there on Shannon Sharp. And now you ain't came and stood up and said nothing in his defense, but you was over there talking about how you ain't see nothing and you don't know what people talking about, and you stayed for the after parties. Well, don't you think you need to say that on his behalf in court? Yeah, because these people are lying. I don't believe none of them. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. I just want to let y'all know what was going on. This man ain't got not one person who is willing to come forward for him. It go to show you when you doing dirt like that, baby, you can't rely on nobody. You have no friends, and he don't deserve them anyway. They all of them, they hands dirty. In my opinion, they did stuff that they can't take back, and they probably nervous. Even if they didn't do what he did, they probably doing other stuff, and they just want to stay out of the limelight because they don't got time for the government looking at them for some stuff they got going on. So that's what I really think is going on. And where the rest of them tapes at, like I said, because I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to forget none of these celebs that was around. I'm not going to forget. I'm going to always remember. We remember y'all. Y'all feel like if you quiet that you're going to disappear and you're going to be invisible, and we're going to remember that you was one of the people that was around him. We're going to remember Mary J, Jamie Foxx. Oh, yeah. We're going to remember. Stop being fake. Y'all was there. But anywho, that's it. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. I'm out. Bye, y'all.